Hey, welcome to the Inspyrd Talks, where we believe that trauma is an injury that can heal. Not only that, I love Gabor Mate, and Gabor Mate says that all mental and physical disease is a result of unresolved trauma. And just for a moment, I'd like to ask you to think about this. What if the challenges you face weren't signs of weakness, but actual opportunities for healing? How would that change your day-to-day? Right? So while you think about that, take a moment. And if you would, put in the chat where you're watching from. We're always interested to see how far we're reaching out into the world. It's a lot of fun for us, and I really appreciate that. Our mission is simple. We advocate that trauma is an injury that can heal, but also we want coaches to get trained in helping others overcome trauma. And we've proven that over and over again that we can transfer those skills. So this particular interview series, my goal is to introduce you to coaches who have faced the mess in their life, overcome it, rose above it, and then chosen to help others do the same. And I do that because I want you to understand what it looks like to be a coach. And today I'm overwhelmed with excitement to have my friend, my colleague, and somebody I really admire as a coach, Angela Vanderwoude, join us here. And she's actually in our studio in downtown Guelph. Often we do this over Zoom, but here she is today. Welcome, Angela.
Thank you.
It's so good to see you. I don't have a bio for you, but because you came through our system, if I could I just share my interpretation of that part?
Absolutely.
So when we met, Angela, you came on a course, an NLP training course that you were gifted through your organization. Tara was on your board of directors and gifted your organization. I remember you showed up in this live classroom. I remember the look on your face. It was like, what have I done?
Exactly. The first couple of days I thought, what have I signed up for?
Yeah.
And I think I sat there like this.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you became enamored with NLP and the work of helping others through coaching. And you did our PACE program. Mm-hmm. Did you do Master Prac with us? And then you did Master Prac that summer. I remember the course.
Yep.
And then you did something that I think is brilliant. You and I were talking about NLP and how Christians approach NLP. And I said, I'm not the guy to talk to. Bobby Bodenhammer was. And Bobby, I had reached out to him to help me with a client who stuttered. And Bobby was so kind and so generous with his time. And I remember his story about how he was forced out of his parish because of his pursuit of NLP. But he and another person, Michael Hall, is it Michael Hall?
Yep.
Created the field of Neuro-Semanics, literally meta NLP.
Yep.
And a lot of Tad James' work is in there as well.
Absolutely.
And so you went on, you got a practitioner's designation.
Yes.
And then you got a master practitioner in neurosemantics.
No, I'm waiting for the master practitioner.
Oh, darn.
But I've got to work. I got to train under, I was the last group to train under Bobby Bodenhammer.
Live. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Then you came back to Guelph. You set up your own practice and you changed your life. You changed the life of others, but you changed your life on a number of levels, mental, physical, and financial. And that's the message I really want people to hear today. So why don't you bring us up to speed a little bit about your backstory, wherever you choose to start, right? Where were you when we met you and how'd you end up here?
So I think it was in 2016 that I took NLP Prac.
You were the second course we taught.
I was in your second course. And I was a director at a pregnancy crisis center.
Yes.
And I had bad anxiety and I was having big issues with leadership. Not a great thing for a director to be having.
Yeah.
And I'd been through lots of talk therapy. And anyways, it was suggested I take this course. And I thought, sure, I love taking courses. And after I got over this first couple of days of what the heck did I sign up for?
Let me jump in. That was December of 2016.
Absolutely.
It was our,
Yes. Yeah. And because we had to practice on each other.
Yes, you do.
Yes. And I started to feel better. And I was like, this is weird, but it works. And then I was like,
wow, I just got a shiver.
I want to do this.
Wow.
And after that, I had a little bit of contact with Bobby, not a whole lot. But when I came home and I Googled, because I'm a Christian, and I Googled, is NLP kosher for Christians? And up popped a lot of Bobby's stuff. And then we got chatting, and that's how I started my journey with working with Bobby and such.
Yeah.
But
if you fast forward to the summer of 2017, though, you did PACE.
absolutely.
So you did our protocol for achieving coaching excellence, our proprietary protocol, how we coach clients. And I was shocked when I got the call from you. That was a July course. And in August of 2017, you'd become very tired, very weak, and you were diagnosed as being anemic. Tell everybody about that.
It was very, I believe our diseases result from our dis-ease.
Yes.
I had unresolved trauma. And of course
Would you be willing to share the nature of what that unresolved trauma was?
Yeah.
I think it's...
I lived in an alcoholic environment for 18 years.
Your spouse was alcoholic?
Yes.
And abusive?
Verbally, yes.
Verbally abusive, but just the chaos.
Yeah. Lots of chaos. And for me, very shortly after, once I let that, that trauma go, I was diagnosed with stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2017. And I believe the cancer, I don't say my cancer, the cancer was run from that, from that trauma.
Now, when you came out of PACE and you went in this anemic, I'm trying to, this is quite a while ago, but they found a stomach ulcer that was bleeding.
There was a tumor in my small intestine.
A tumor.
Yep, that was bleeding.
And, you and I'm not an expert in German new medicine, but I like it as a framework for understanding mental and physical disease.
Absolutely.
As another piece of data. And when you and I looked at the German new medicine model, a lot of people would have said that bleeding ulcer was the problem that you need to address. But in German new medicine, they believe in a healing crisis.
Yep.
And I remember in October that year, you and I started working together on managing emotional states and healing more trauma. And I remember that you were angry at God at that moment.
Absolutely. Yep.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah. I was angry that he would allow that to happen. And then what NLP teaches me, and I pick this up again, is whatever I focus on drives my behavior.
There you go.
So if I focus on the negative crap, what do you think I'm going to get?
Yeah.
And, especially this time around, that anger at God came up again.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I have a choice now.
Wow.
Do I want to stay here? I had to do some work with my other faith-based coach on that.
Yeah. I bet.
Because I believe I knew it wasn't true, but I believe he abandoned me. So, but it was the feeling.
Yes.
Anyways, I had to do a bunch of submodality work on that. While we're here on the choosing, I have a choice today of how long I want to stay in anger. I have a choice of how long I want to stay sad or guilty or whatever it is.
Yeah. Because
what I teach my clients and what I'm taught here myself through NLP is how to master my emotions.
Correct.
Sometimes I need someone to help me, pull me out.
Don't we all?
Yeah, and it's very, very important that I seek someone else to help me pull me out of that state.
There's so many pieces, and it may seem like we jump around a bit, but I'll keep pushing us to chronology. But then you go through that fall period, you get to January, and then you get the diagnosis, stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yep.
And in January of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So we're about 13 months from the first NLP course.
Yep.
And the prognosis on that day from the doctor?
We're going to start with this kind of chemo. And I said to myself, it will work.
Yeah.
I believed it will work. My daughter was getting married, and I was going to walk her down the aisle. And I said, I'm going to be walking her down the aisle.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, you did 6 rounds of the chemo.
6 rounds, yep.
And I remember your hair didn't disappear till you didn't have hair issues for quite a while.
It took I think it was after
Hair
my
issues being it
yeah,
fell
it
out.
fell out. It took about 2 treatments for it to fall out.
Yeah. And you couldn't work. I remember that period you couldn't work.
Nope.
So people helped you get through that period.
Yep.
And that would be debilitating emotionally for most people.
Yep.
But because you and I worked together and on managing your immune system and your metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get all the way. So you get through the chemo.
Mm-hmm.
It's June. Was it June 22nd that?
Yep. June 22nd. I was declared cancer-free.
2018.
Yep.
So you're anemic in September.
Mm-hmm.
You're diagnosed stage 4 in January. Stage 4. If you're in a more direct oncology clinic, they might tell you to get your affairs in order.
They've never really said that out loud.
We don't in Canada.
Nope.
You go further south, they'll say that to you.
Mm-hmm.
Get your affairs in order.
Yeah.
Cool. But June 22nd, 2018, I remember you held that banner up,
Mm-hmm.
cancer-free.
Yep.
All right. So, but you've lost weight, you've had chemo,
Mm-hmm.
you've got kids to take care of.
Yeah.
And you get busy.
And I got a business to run.
And you've got a business to run.
Yeah.
And you get busy.
I got busy.
So who are your clients?
So since I'm the only one in Canada trained from a faith-based perspective,
Say that again for us.
I'm the only one in Canada trained from a faith-based perspective in NLP.
Being the training with Bobby and Michael.
Not under Michael, but under Bob Bodenham.
Bobby. Yeah.
And Mike Davis. And I am going back to work on November 1st.
Wow.
And
today's October 1st.
Yep. So in 4 weeks, I'm going to get back to work, and I'm going to just work with people of faith.
Right.
I was kind of, if people came to me and were referred to me who are not of faith, I would take them on. But I'm at a point where I'm just going to work with people of faith. I've worked with Muslims. I work with, I think he was Hindu. I don't really care what their faith is, but when we have a higher source,
yes,
it's higher levels of consciousness.
Okay.
And I can get into rapport with people real quick with that.
100%. That's brilliant. So in your work, I don't know whether you still use PACE or a derivative of PACE or
Absolutely.
the flow of PACE. So you're still doing that?
Yep.
Right on. And you've trained with us, so I've always encouraged people, whatever skills you brought into the training environment, PACE is a structure, and I encourage everybody to mold it, modify it to meet their particular. And so you've studied neurosemantics. I've stolen some of your training from you whenever I can. I love it. And so you've embedded neurosemantics within the PACE protocol. So you have a structured approach to coaching.
Yes.
A beginning, a middle, and an end.
Absolutely.
And are you using the ZTPI, Zimbardo Time Perspective Inventory, still as a metric?
Absolutely.
And you still do evidence, behavior, and other things? Yep. Wow. Or behavioral evidence. That's brilliant. Yep. Now, your clients, what are the issues that they present with?
Most clients that I see come with feelings of anxiety and depression.
All right.
And I would say about 50% of them are coming with health issues.
Okay, so this is so cool. They have mental, I call it torment. Anxiety and depression are tormenting, right? And then they have physical, I call it torture. So in my how I speak is trauma's a thief, and it steals your ability to sleep. When you have no ability to sleep, then it torments your brain, and then it tortures your body. And you and I are fans of Gabor, and Gabor would say that depression and anxiety are preceded by trauma. So do you encounter a lot of trauma, small t, big T traumas with your clients? Are many of them experiencing it? They may not be aware of it.
Absolutely. So when they come in, I never ask that question.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I don't diagnose. That's not my job.
Fair.
Some of them will say, I have had trauma in my life, and I'll say, okay. Most people bump up into their trauma when they get up above their timeline.
Yeah. Fancy that, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny how that happens.
Yeah. And then I say, just ask your unconscious mind, was that a traumatic event for you? And they'll like, yeah. I'll say, great. Good. Let's deal with it right now.
I don't know who's going to listen to this. it might be somebody who wants to coach,
Mhm.
who has no reference for this conversation, unconscious. It may be a psychologist, a psychotherapist, and they use subconscious. So in your perspective, I love sharing how what you've learned, you've turned into a coaching practice where you create massive change. So just for everybody who's listening, when you say I ask them to ask their unconscious mind,
Mhm.
what do you mean by that?
Mhm.
As opposed to, somebody might say, well, tell me about that. What do you think that comes from, or something like that?
Yeah.
How is that different?
Well, I always do like a little get together before we do any coaching.
Okay.
And I always say to them, this is a do together process. I don't do it to you.
Yes.
You have to be receptive
Oh, that's brilliant.
to what, to change.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're coming for change and you're not willing to change, I can't help you.
Yeah.
And so the unconscious mind, or biblically, that's the part that really threw me off when I first came to NLP. So biblically speaking, the unconscious mind, I believe Psalm 51 talks about our most inward parts. And in our most inward...
Psalm 51.
Psalm 51 talks about our most inward parts. And as soon as we get into our most inward parts...
Yes. So we're not talking our cognitive brain or our fingernails. We're talking about something inside.
You bet.
All right.
You bet. And I'll say to them, it's 90% of your brain. That's a big chunk of your brain. And it's got all beautiful things filed away in there from the day you were conceived, because you and I both believe life begins at conception.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Hence the heavy on faith. Yeah.
Yeah. And so all these beautiful things are recorded in there, but all the negative things are recorded in there too.
And then you give it a name. I'm going to call it your unconscious mind.
And I will refer to it as your unconscious mind, or sometimes I'll say your most inward parts. Or
it's funny, your inward parts, because I ask people just to hear their inner voice. And I explain to them that inner voice comes from something beyond their consciousness, which I'm going to call your unconscious mind. Mm-hmm. So just listen to your inner voice. And you just said your inner parts. It's beautiful.
Yeah. It's
absolutely beautiful. I'll share a quick story. I was working with a very devout Christian group, and I'm heavy on breathing, right? I do breathing techniques in that. Mm-hmm. And the one participant didn't want to do my breathing technique because she said, as a devout Christian, I can't worship false deities, right? And that breathing technique, I believe, is shamanistic. And I said, okay, what does it say in Genesis 2.7? Mm-hmm. What happens in Genesis 2.7? Mm-hmm. God creates Adam from sand, right? Correct. So what did he do next? He breathed the life into him. Where did he breathe the life in? To his nostrils. So I'm asking you to breathe in through your nose and exhale through your mouth in a specific way. Mm-hmm. You choose to take God's breath or not. It's not for me to decide. Mm-hmm. I mean, please, mm-hmm. right? And I don't like having to do that, but I've got another friend who's amazingly gifted in scripture, mm-hmm. and I was doing stuff with him, and he said, there's scripture in Matthew that talks about this very technique, and as you know, I'm not gifted in the scripture, so it's fabulous that you just said, yeah, Psalm 51 talks about our inward parts. That's beautiful. So you're doing neurosemantics and NLP. So does neurosemantics have a different technique for trauma than the NLP? Okay, so you're using the movie theater model?
Most of the time, yes.
Yeah. Some of the time?
Some of the time, no.
You're using?
I do a lot of submodality work.
Yeah.
So sometimes I do submodality work.
You're changing the meaning of the event at an unconscious level.
Absolutely.
And the symptoms, the things that Western medicine works on, they diminish, they disappear.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Yeah. Well, I always say I don't heal you. That's not my job.
No.
God heals you.
Yeah.
But he uses me as a channel to help you get rid of your junk emotionally.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So, and I leave it at that. But
sorry, I have to interrupt you here because that's so different that so many coaches take on the mantle of healer, of omnipotence, that I'm making all these changes. And what you just said is so powerful. You channel what's already in them to heal.
Yeah. God's given us all the gifts already.
Yeah.
They're all inside of us.
Yeah.
So even if somebody comes to me in a stuck state, I don't really care what it is. We already have all the resources inside of us already. We just don't know how to access them.
Yes. And you and I are in 100% agreement there.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to be judgmental here.
You go ahead.
When I first met you in the summer of 2016, because your office was below our office and we did volunteer work down there, painting walls and hanging things.
Yep.
Some days you were a hot mess.
A lot of days I was a hot mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you exited that organization, you were committed to supporting your family. So you had a cleaning business. That's how you paid the bills and fed your kids. So kudos to you. And then you go through this health issue, and we're going to get to the most current health issue. But some people might say, well, why did, and you had marital issues, right? And some people say, why do you have a right to coach? Look at your life. You're not a billionaire with 4 cars and, all the stuff. Why do you have a right to coach?
I have a right to coach.
Yeah.
Because I've been through stuff.
Got t-shirts?
I got the t-shirts. And you know what? When clients come to me and I'll say, I never know what you're thinking or feeling.
Yeah.
This is when I was going through this situation, this is what I felt.
Yeah.
And I can get into rapport with them real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when I grew up in a faith-based I grew up in church.
Yes.
I'm going to say a religious religion. And what I heard was it was a sin to be angry.
Oh.
Yes, it was a sin to be angry. But if you're angry at God, well, that was even like...
It's over the edge.
That's just over the edge.
Yeah.
I believe a lot of that thinking is still out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just get real with people to say, I was angry with God. And I had cancer, both times.
Yeah. Wow. In our teaching, we say our mess is our message.
Absolutely.
Right. And that's why I sometimes worry about brand new graduates from like a master's of psychology program. They do their undergrad, they do their master's, and now they're quote unquote a psychotherapist. And they have to deal with a guy like me who's 70 years old, done a decade of military work, a decade of humanitarian work, lost my first son, witnessed 7 of my friends die. And this person maybe, grew up in a nice affluent house, drove a BMW to college, and they have to deal with a guy like me. Good luck. I mean, it's hard. They'd have to be so good to get my respect, right? So good. And yet you're absolutely right. If I came to, and full disclosure, everybody, when I want to deal with an issue, I go see Angela. All right. So there it is. It's on the table now for everybody to hear. But the people who get up when they fall down, they're my heroes. They're my heroes. Not what they're driving, not the house they live in, but when they get up, when they fall down, I want to be like them, right? So I'm with you. Your mess is your message. That's why you have a right to, and anybody listening here who wants to be a coach but says, I've never done much in my life. I mean, I would argue that coaching helped you by helping others overcome this stuff. It changed your family dynamics because you had more money available to support your family, do the things they wanted to do. I'm going to guarantee you gain self-esteem in the process.
Absolutely.
You got rid of a ton of baggage.
Yep.
And now, life's throwing you some pretty hard fastballs, huh?
Yep.
So you kicked the shit out of cancer the first time.
Yep.
We all celebrate. It's been, and then last October you came to me and you said, look, I've got some back pain. And you and I both know that some pains have psycho-emotional wounds preceding them. Can you work with me? And you and I don't know how many times we worked there. Maybe 3?
Yeah, I think 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we could lower the pain significantly, but we couldn't stop the pain.
No.
And so now looking back from a German new medicine perspective, it was a healing crisis. It was hey, pay attention to me, something's going on. So could you tell us about that last October, November, December, what happened? And here we are again.
Yep.
All right. So just tell everybody out there what happened.
Yeah. So last October, I started to have some back pain. I had picked up a heavy basket like the middle of October.
Yeah.
And I started working with an osteopath. He's like, I'm quite sure you have a herniated disc. I was like, oh, okay. And
this osteopath's brilliant. We both know this guy's good.
yeah. Yeah. And by middle of December, the pain was getting pretty bad.
But now you were an avid walker for a decade or more.
You bet. I've been walking.
And you couldn't walk. You were telling me I can barely walk.
No. So by the time I was going to backtrack, middle of December, beginning of January, it started to affect my mobility.
Okay.
And then
were you still coaching in that pain?
I was actually.
Okay.
I was.
Yeah.
End of January 31st to be exact, I woke up that morning and I could hardly walk.
Okay.
My daughter sleeps in the basement, and I called her and I said, just bring me straight to the ER.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you got the message.
I got the message.
Do not pass go.
No. And they were on it. And as soon as they took my blood work.
Yeah.
So since I've had cancer, like you get pretty in tune with your blood work.
Yeah.
And as soon as I heard the blood work, I went, oh. The return of cancer was just so not on my radar. Like I had no fear of cancer returning.
Yes, I know that. It was like you don't even like to be called a survivor.
I say a cancer warrior.
A cancer warrior. And that cancer was never your cancer. I've listened to you speak so many times. It's the cancer, not my cancer.
You're 100% right.
Yeah.
It was never
we
my
need to be mindful of our words, right?
We need to be very mindful of our words. Very mindful.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, I'm just going to go off on a tangent here for a second.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of people say, when you were sick, I'd say, I never said to myself I was sick. I had cancer. And every morning, both times I'd get up and say, my body is healing and recovering from the effects of chemo and cancer.
Yeah. My understanding is we all defeat cancer cells every day. Absolutely. That's my understanding.
You're correct.
And whatever happened those 2 times to you, that fight got out of balance. It
got out of balance. Now, I was in the hospital on February 1st, and then they did an MRI, and that's when they found out, I heard that there was a tumor on my spine.
Wow.
That covered 5 vertebrae, T9 to L1.
One tumor covering 5 vertebrae.
Yes. And there was a spot in my liver.
Wow.
So anyways, I started with radiation and chemo right away.
They shrunk it?
And they shrunk it. And that very first day I was in the hospital, I had 3 doctors come in within an hour.
You know you're important at that point.
I knew I was very important at that point.
Very important.
And they said, you should be able to walk again. We may have to one of the vertebrae.
Say that again. You may be able to walk again?
Exactly.
Just matter of fact.
And we may have to, one of the vertebrae had a crack in it from the tumor.
Yeah.
We may have to go in and cement it. And I said to myself, yeah, I will be walking again. And no one's touching my back. And what I did, and this is what, NLP teaches me, is to visual. So I practice savers, which is at the very end of our.
Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know savers, it was created by Hal Elrod. And it's a way that he believed it got him through 2 life crises. And I forget the crises he went through, but it's a morning routine.
It's a morning routine.
Yeah.
Sitting in the silence, affirmations, visualization, visualizing my positive day.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no. So I Googled, what does a healthy spine look like with healthy vertebrae? Yeah, I like that. What does a healthy liver look like? And I started to visualize my spine and my liver.
Now, that's what Joe Dispenza did when he broke his back. Huh?
I didn't know that.
Okay, I'll take us aside for a second. Joe Dispenza is probably 60, in his early 60s now. But at 25, he was a practicing chiropractor and a triathlete. And he's in a triathlon. He gets hit by a Ford Bronco when he's on his bike. Shatters his spine in 6 places. They take him to the hospital. They want to put in Harrington rods, titanium rods, fuse his back. Right? He's going to walk like Lurch the rest of his life. He refuses because first, he's a chiropractor, and chiropractors believe we have the innate ability to heal. And second, he had already studied meditation and hypnosis. He had 500 hours of hypnosis training, a lot. Right? So they tried to have him institutionalized. They tried to lobby his family, said he must be not thinking clearly. But apparently some friends got him out of the house, got them to their house, and they had a pool, and he started meditating. And he said, if I have the ability to heal, I will initiate that. And if I'm successful, I'll spend the rest of my life teaching other people to do it. At 6.5 weeks, nothing's happening. But when he would meditate, these workers would come on his back, and he could see them using spatulas and things, healing his back.
Mm-hmm.
At 10 weeks, he was back in his chiropractic practice.
Mm.
Now that's physically demanding. And at 12 weeks, he was back on his bike. And of course, to his word, he has made it his life's mission to share that story. So when I got diagnosed with osteoarthritis at 64, I'd heard that story, and I did a deep dive into Dispenza. Mm-hmm. And I did what you did. I meditated. Mm-hmm. I would do Wim Hof breathing, mm-hmm. followed by Kundalini breathing of Dispenza, and then meditate. And these guys would show up in my back. It was in my knee. It was an exploded view. I'd get this image of my perfect knee in front of me. And there's these little guys that look like Super Marios. Mm-hmm. And they were polishing my knee joint every day. Polishing, and they polished for 15 days.
I like that.
And on the 16th day, they didn't come to work.
Wow. Because they didn't need to.
They didn't need to. And I still had knee pain, but as you know, my journey, I dealt with some psycho-emotional issues. I changed my diet, got rid of the inflammatory, I ate cinnamon and curcumin and non-inflammatories. And today, I can do 100 deep knee bends. Mm-hmm. I'm 70. I'm careful when I run. I have some Achilles tenderness, but yeah, I don't have any osteoarthritis. They told me they'd replace my knees at 70. Mm-hmm. No one's putting, like you, mm-hmm. no one's putting a scalpel in my knee. Mm-hmm. No one's putting a scalpel in your back.
Nope.
And so you started visualizing that.
Yeah.
When you do that, Angela, do you get a physical manifestation of that visualization?
I get it. Like I can just feel it, like in my stomach here. And then at night,
yeah,
I would another pet peeve of mine. Those bumper stickers that F cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to piss cancer off.
Well, no, but to me, because people say, man, don't you just hate cancer? Like F cancer. I'm like, I didn't jump for joy and say, wow, thank you, God, I got cancer again. I said, but for me, that F, like cancer, that's an angry response.
Yes.
Stay in that negative angry response. And what are you going to get?
You'll be in sympathetic nervous system, sacrificial. Your immune system goes down.
100%.
Thank you.
100%.
I never related that bumper sticker to that state. Well done.
Now you do.
Yeah. So you can't embrace it. You're not thanking it, but you want to stay in parasympathetic.
Yeah. Because my body's healing.
In your immune system and fight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So this is cool though, because a lot of people who are in our space, in the, I'll just call it alternative thinking space, push contemporary allopathic medicine away. But you don't. The 2 times you went head first, say, look, these guys have some things that I need. So you access their things, yep. But you also access this other world, this complementary alternative world.
Absolutely.
Wholeheartedly, including your faith.
Absolutely.
Knowing that faith can help you heal.
Absolutely.
And knowing that you have some techniques to help your emotional state to heal.
Yep.
And then you access what I'll call New Age allopathic medicine.
Yep. I work with a naturopath who practices Chinese.
Well, I'm talking I call it New Age. I should call it leading edge.
Yeah.
You did stem cell replacement.
Oh,
tell us about that.
I did stem cell transplant. Yeah. So since
and tell us where they took you before they put the stem cells back in, because that's such a story.
What do you mean?
To the edge.
Oh, to the edge. Yeah. So we all have stem cells in our body that help, build our immune system and bone marrow and such. So I started with 2 rounds of chemo. They wanted to know that the chemo was working first. And they took a CT scan after 2 rounds of chemo, and both tumors had reduced by over 50%.
Wow.
That was after 2 rounds of chemo.
So the chemo's working.
Absolutely.
You're working.
The chemo's working, but also, and other people said, people would say, wouldn't you just cringe when that poison was going in you? I said, no, never. When that chemo was going in, I was just imagining it's like little Pac-Man just eating, you know, the cancerous tumors.
What a beautiful, beautiful visualization.
Yeah. They said, yes, you're a good candidate. So stem cells. So I had a big port here. They harvested my stem cells. They froze them.
From your bone marrow or from where?
I had like a big, right here. Like it just was blood. And
Okay. I don't know anything about this. This is fascinating.
And so they froze my stem cells. And they said, you're going to have to come back 2 days. Most people come back 2 days. Very few people come back 1. Most people come back 2 days, and we need a minimum of 4,000 stem cells. I was there at 7 o'clock that morning. At 1 o'clock, they said, we already have 9,000 stem cells.
Wow.
You don't need to come back tomorrow.
Nice.
Yep.
Overachiever.
Exactly.
Angela, the overachiever.
Yeah. So I went into the hospital, Grand River Hospital, on May 10th.
Yes.
And they said, you will be in the hospital for about 2.5, 3 weeks
Yes.
for this process.
Wow.
I had chemo for 2 days. It was a totally different chemo. And this chemo brings you right to the very edge. And they go in and they just...
Knowing your Christian faith, knowing that you're now putting your hands and they're going to take you to the door.
Yeah.
What was that like? From a Christian.
As a Christian, I believe God has numbered my days. From the day I'm born to the day I'm going to die.
You and I share that belief.
And if it was, this is where I was really fighting, because I'm like, this is not my time. I am just not even willing to even think about. Did that old fear come up? It did.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I've got kids, I've got grandbabies, I've got a business that I love, you know.
Got stuff to do.
I got stuff to do. And I said, let's, you know, go ahead. It was pretty brutal chemo. And
you got right close to the door.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I lost,
and then, and you say you lost what?
I lost 50 pounds. I lost some weight prior, but I lost a lot of weight.
Wow.
And, you know, I'm a pretty fit person. Like I walk, you know, 45 minutes a day at a very fast pace. And I lift weights and, you know, take very good care of myself, physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
Alkaline water.
You bet. My diet and my stress levels. If something comes up, you know, I'm here because I deal with it. And getting back, I don't know how this cancer came about. I do not know. I'm still baffled by it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
something unresolved that's resolved now. So you go to death's door.
Yep.
Then how long did you have to stay there before they gave you back your stem cells?
2 days later.
Yeah.
They gave me back my new stem cells.
Which is absolutely amazing. They take cells out, they freeze them, they thaw them, they put them back in, and they work.
Yep. And then they could tell by blood work, like within like 2 or 3 days, that they were starting to graft already.
The stem cells.
Yeah.
And replicate.
Yeah.
And was it like a really fast, I'm getting healthy again, or was it like a slow? I mean, you're here and it's only a couple months, so that's fast.
It's 4.5 months. Yeah, they said to me, it's going to take 3 to 6 months before you start to feel better. And I said to myself, or not.
Or not.
It's 4.5 months. Like, I'm going back to
June,
work.
July, August, September. Yeah. And you did that May 10th.
Yep. May 13th actually was my infusion date.
So you're just an overachiever, Angela. Let's just accept it. Well done. It'll be 5 months on November 1st when you're back to work. So here you are. Mm-hmm. Like you are vibrant as hell, right? I didn't know what to expect when I walked in my office. Was I going to meet Angela the frail, right? You know, I'll help you into your seat, or was I going to meet Angela the sickly? And I walked in and your eyes are bright blue. You know, you and I are trained in sensory acuity. Everything tells me you're vibrant and healthy. Yep. So let's move forward. You want to move forward?
I love moving forward. Yes. Okay.
So you're going to coach faith-based people who are facing issues.
Absolutely.
What can they get from working with you? A person comes to you, you know, I think one of the things that faith-based people wrestle with, I may actually be one of them, is wrestling with the concept of God. Mm-hmm. a God,
Mhm.
whatever God, and then how they deal with challenges,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so a person comes to you, what kind of problems do you think you'll work with primarily if we found a sweet spot for you? And then what benefit would people get from working with you?
That's a loaded question for one thing.
100%.
Whew.
Bam.
Well,
Well, you're going back to work in 4 weeks. I want you to go in on fire, right?
yeah. Oh, I'm going in on fire. Absolutely. First I have to share one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my office space, you've seen my old office space.
Yeah. Did you keep it?
No, I let it go.
And it came back?
It came back.
The cat comes back.
I know. I'm like, oh, I love that office space. Anyways, I'm moving in a couple weeks, and
What, the other tenant moved out, or?
nobody was ever in there. God was keeping it for
They
me.
kept it for you. It just stayed for you. It
It
waited.
just stayed.
That must have just made you.
I was like, oh yeah, this is fantastic. Yeah. Yeah.
That's important, because I know, having gone to your office, that was a real grounding spot for you. That was your spot. You
love that spot.
Yeah.
Love that spot. What can clients get from
What kind of clients do you think you'll attract? Let's start then, and let's talk about where they'll get to after they.
The clients I attract are people of faith.
Yes.
Predominantly Christians.
Yeah.
That's who I typically work with. People who have feelings of anxiety, feelings of depression. Like I said earlier, those are predominantly the people I work with. I help them free them from their stuff.
So when a client works with you, how long would be a normal work? You know, if I was one of those Christian clients who came with anxiety, depression, how would they work with you? Would it be a week, a month, a year?
Yeah. Oh no, not a year. I work with them over 10 to 12 hours.
Yes.
The first 5 sessions are about an hour and a half to 2 hours long.
Yeah.
We are not talking about the problem. I don't care why you have anxiety. I want to know how you do it.
Wow.
And
So you're not making them relive any of their past, rewiring and firing all those bad pathways. You're moving forward.
We move out of it.
Yeah.
We move out of it.
And at the end of it, how are you evidencing that these people got what they came for?
So
it's so important to me. I hate clinicians who don't measure.
It's very important to me also. So I use the ZTPI.
Yeah, Zimbardo Time Perspective Inventory.
Yep. So I start with that. And I show them.
Yeah.
This is your graph right now.
Yeah.
This is just what I see. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they're like, yeah, how do you know all that? And I'm like, just what I see on the graph here.
Yeah.
And you know what? When we're done, I'm going to ask you these same questions.
Yeah.
And your graph is going to look different.
Yeah.
It's going to look better.
Yeah.
Most importantly, you're going to be feeling better.
I love the ZTPI, or if you're in the United States, ZTPI, because Phil Zimbardo is famous, right? Mm-hmm. He did the Stanford prison experiment. He was the head of psychology at Stanford, and he was the president of the American Psychological Association. And after he left teaching, he started an organization, first studying how evil gets in people, and then he flipped it around. He has an organization that lives on today studying how good infiltrates people. How people can rise up and be good. And I call that a prestige tool, by the way.
Yeah.
And I've done quite a bit of research into I shouldn't say research. I've done quite a bit of reading of research around the ZTPI, its efficacy, its stability. It's a very dynamic, very useful tool. So I'm glad you're still using that.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's so cool. So if you could have a call to action, somebody's listening, maybe it's a person who's a Christian and struggling with how do I help myself, or maybe it's somebody who wants to get in coaching. What would be some call to action that you'd like to throw out to the world? What would you like people to know? You know, if you're going to say something to somebody, what would a call to action be?
Well, I think it's a 2-part question. If you want coaching, from myself, I only coach in person. I will not coach over Zoom.
There you go.
If you want my coaching, I've had people fly in.
There you go. Fly in, spend, and if you're doing 5 2-hour sessions, you can do it in a week.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. I shouldn't say I won't do any. I will do the very first session via Zoom, but I will not do the other ones via Zoom.
Yeah, I've wrestled with that one, man, but
Yep.
God bless you for sticking to your guns, man.
Yeah. No, I stick to my guns. Like,
You draw a 1 hour circle around where we live, and there's 5 million people.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
lots of them need your help.
Yeah. So you and I are both in rapport physically.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. So I can't get into rapport with people via Zoom
Yeah,
because I see this.
it's more challenging, to be sure.
It is.
Yeah.
And I get fantastic results. I would probably say I have a 95 to 96% success rate.
Wow. And you evidence it.
Absolutely. Via ZTPI and by their behavior.
Yeah, behavioral evidence. It's brilliant.
It is.
And then if somebody's out there and they're thinking, boy, I'd like to help other people, I'd like to become a coach, what call to action would you give them?
I would say find a live training of NLP prac.
Yeah, go do it.
and go do it.
Yeah, work on yourself. And
Yeah, go clean your own junk up. Because we cannot coach through our junk.
No.
Sorry, we cannot coach through our junk. If
Says
we've
it
got
right.
stuff,
says right in the code of ethics of NLP, right? If you've got junk, you got to step out of coaching until your junk's gone. We don't call it junk.
we don't call it junk,
but
but
yeah,
it is one of the presuppositions of NLP.
Cool.
So
So here, if I interviewed 10 or 12 of your clients,
Mhm.
what do you think they'd say about you?
well, I get a testimonial from all my clients,
There you go.
and I post a testimonial once a week, or
Wow.
once a month. Sorry, once a month. And they all say Angela is non-judgmental.
Isn't that beautiful?
That is very beautiful. So I want them to come, and I would say, the more honest you are with me, the better I can help you.
Yes.
Now, as a coach, you and I can get both real honest with people.
Yeah.
Whereas a counselor or therapist, I believe they cannot.
Yep. Yep.
And I used to say, I used to have thinking like this, or I used to act like this.
Yeah. A psychotherapist can't.
No. But I believe that's how we get into deep rapport.
Correct.
So
100%.
um,
So you're non-judgmental. What else did they say
Yeah.
about you?
she's good at what she does.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'd be the 12th person. I'd say that.
Thank you.
100%.
I do believe I am good at what I do.
Hey.
And I believe God has gifted me with that. And I'm very excited because over this journey, I've learned new things about myself, and I've had to, learn and let go of new things. And I'm coming with a new handbag of tools and to help my clients.
I'm not trying to influence where you go or what you do, but you've survived stage 4. You haven't survived. You've defeated and moved on and grown through 2 rounds of stage 4 cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And cancer is so prevalent in our North American lifestyle more than other areas. And people are so emotionally traumatized by the diagnosis of cancer, not just the person getting it, but the family members, everybody around them.
Mm-hmm.
I just see there's such, your faith and your personal story is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
You're a glowing example, and you don't dump on Western medicine. You embrace it.
Yes.
And you embrace your faith, and you embrace the ability to control your destiny. And I think that's such a powerful message to share with other people. So if anybody's out there and you feel like you need a coach who's literally been there, done that, and got 2 t-shirts, not 1, 2, about what it means to actually live through the experience of healing from cancer, I mean, I couldn't give a higher recommendation than to reach out and see you. We're going to Neil will put your contact information in the show notes at the bottom of the interview notes. So if anybody wants to reach you, your contact information will be in the notes.
Great.
We'll take 5 or 6 snippets out of this interview and post them as well. And your contact information will be in all of those.
Great.
All right. And if you're up for it,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to ask the audience if they'd like to do some questions and answers. Are you
Sure.
up for that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
cool. So if you have some questions out there and you want to ask either me but I would prefer you ask Angela a question, go ahead, put your question in the notes, and we'll just see what comes up. Oh, cool. There you go.
Mm-hmm. What daily practices kept you mentally strong through treatment? So
You mentioned the visualization
I
already.
mentioned the visualization about, so I had a tumor on my spine and in my liver.
The liver's gone as well, the tumor?
Well, I have no signs of lymphoma in my body.
None.
None. None. I visualized, I got a picture, I Googled a picture of a healthy spine and a healthy liver. So the big part of NLP is we focus on what we want. So whatever we focus on drives our behavior. If we focus on, I'm sick, I can't do this, it wasn't going to get me very many places. No. But I focused on and getting back to the family. So I focused on, I was going to be healed from this. And that's the message I gave that's just the message I gave out.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm single, not that I'm vying for a relationship. That's I'm putting that out there.
It's great for Angela. Sorry.
So my two youngest daughters were, you know, living at home
Yeah.
at the time, and neither were working. So they were helping me. Because some days I could hardly get off the couch. Like I was just so fatigued. And humanly speaking, like I probably shouldn't be here.
Probably not.
Probably not.
No.
But that's
in your language, though, that wasn't God's design.
Absolutely.
You've got more work to do.
I've got way too much. I've got loads of work to do.
You've got more of his work to do.
Yeah. So I don't know. Does that answer your question?
I think it answers it brilliantly. Any other questions? So we'll let Neil just surf around in the chat room, see what's up on. Oh, look at the word creator. Yeah. A question from the creator, Angela.
Creator, yeah. What's the biggest life lesson cancer has taught you? I've learned lots.
What stands out to you?
The biggest one is thoroughly enjoy today. The big part of NLP is also, you know, we do a lot of future pacing. Yes. And I love future pacing in a positive state. And I do a lot of that.
I think your clients who have anxiety and depression are future pacing problems. Would you agree?
100%.
There you go. Yeah. So
100%.
Yeah. I have a whole new module on future pacing in the upcoming course. We've taken
Beautiful.
Future pacing to a different level.
Beautiful. Enjoy today.
Enjoy today.
Just really, really thoroughly enjoy today. I think that is the biggest lesson that cancer has taught me once again.
Today is the only thing that matters, right? Everything else is an illusion.
It is. It is.
Your memory of the stem cell replacement is in fact, it's an illusion. It's your truth, but it's not factual. It's been tarnished, tempered, changed with.
Yeah. It's still pretty fresh, but it's.
Yeah, it's fresh, but you can't, you know, you and I believe that we create memories from the data.
Yeah.
Through our own filters.
Absolutely.
You know, the doctor who put the stem cells in probably has a different memory of that day. And the nurses and everybody else.
Different perception, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so brilliant.
Yeah.
That's a great lesson. Enjoy the day. Probably when you enjoy the day, like you talk about, you know, anybody who knows sensory acuity, when you were talking about, I'm starting work on November 1st again, and you watch Angela light up. She's enjoying the day, but you're also connecting to this abundance in the future.
Yeah.
In the past, you're not dragging that shit with you.
No.
It's like, you know, this is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant. You're in the present, connected to an abundant future.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Are there any other questions out there, Neil? The question is, how has surviving twice changed how you live today, day to day?
It's changed, you know, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So when I was diagnosed the first time, I did a radical diet change. And I still eat like that. And I believe, and I, you know, drink alkaline water and, you know, keep we all have stress in our life.
Yeah.
We all have stress in life, but I have a choice of how I want to deal with it today.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I have a choice of how long I want to stay in a negative state because I have dominion over my emotional states.
Yeah.
Today. I focus on what I want. So if I find myself in the last couple of days, I felt a little bit of this old anxiety coming up. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I'm like, oh, I've got a fantastic recipe for anxiety. Keep your head down and scroll through, lots of crappy social media. That we call that foveal vision. Like you're just directed into crappy social media. Watch lots of crappy news. Fantastic recipe for.
Yeah.
And as soon as I realized, I'm like, oh, I know, I'm going like this.
Yep.
Yeah, we want to build, peripheral vision all the time. So I'm very in tune with my negative feelings, good feelings, bad, whatever. How I eat, how I perceive the world, how I enjoy today.
How do you perceive the world? Let's wrap it up there. If you could just give a brief sentence to people out there, because there is a lot of stress, man.
There's a lot of stress going out in the world.
Yeah, it's happening on a micro and a macro level. It's everywhere.
It is.
I feel bad for my kids. They can't, they're on social media. They're being bombarded.
They are. They really are. I worked with a lot of people. You probably did too, right after the pandemic.
And through the pandemic and right after it. Yeah.
You bet. I worked with loads of people. And they would come in and I would say, you're focused on what you don't want. You think you're anti this and you're anti this, but yet you're still really focusing on it. So you're really still doing the same thing.
Could I jump in on you?
Yeah.
I experienced that with the clients who when I ask them what they want, they tell me what they don't want. Right. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be in debt. I don't. Okay, that's what you don't want. What do you want? And they couldn't express the flip side of the coin, the other side. I want to be financially abundant. I want to have resources to feed my kids. I would like to go on a vacation. And so by saying, they thought they were saying what they wanted. I don't want to be broke, but they exactly what you said. Yeah. They're actually, and their unconscious mind didn't hear the don't. It just heard be broke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
So it's how I perceive. So I love future pacing.
Yes.
I do a lot of future pacing. I do a lot of goal setting. Even during my cancer journey, I did lots of goal setting. I could hardly walk, and I walked with a walker.
That is such an amazing thing for somebody to say. So you're in chemo, you're in the hospital, and you're setting goals for the future. You got stage 4 cancer.
You bet. I'm walking with the walker.
Wow.
And the kids brought me this walker, and I said to myself, I'm going to use that sucker for about 3 months.
Yeah.
It was a little bit over 4. And I said, I was laying there when I had the stem cell transplant, and I said, I'm going to be working by October, November.
Yeah.
So.
And ironically, you said October, November, and your unconscious mind took November. Had you said I'm going to be working by October 27th at 3 p.m., it probably would have accepted that too, right?
It probably would have.
Yeah.
So if I perceive, it's how I perceive my world. If I perceive that, well, this cancer sucks and F cancer, and why did I have to do this again?
Yeah.
And, I would not be going to work.
No.
I would not be out walking 15 minutes this morning. I probably would still be walking with my walker.
Yeah.
So I've got to keep focusing on what I want in life. And that's how it helps me perceive life.
Yeah.
When I focus on what I want.
This has been such a treat for me.
Thank you.
You know that I love you to bits, but it's such a treat because Angela expresses truths so clearly and succinctly. And I love how you express your knowledge of NLP, because focus drives behavior, creates result is on page 3 of the manual. It's the first 2 hours of training. And so many people don't grasp its significance, its gravitas. And you have. And you've embodied it. And it's literally, I believe it's one of the great contributors to you overcoming trauma, overcoming cancer, is that key piece. And then everything else goes through that filter. So if you say, I focus on what I want, I focus my relationship with God. I focus on what I want with God. I focus on what I want with faith. I focus on what I want with my diet. I focus what I want with my children. I focus what I want with this medical institute. And that as a grounding, as a filter with approach the world.
Mm-hmm.
And you've said it so many times today that this has just been a pure treat.
Mm-hmm.
It actually re-grounded me to how important those fundamentals are.
Yes.
The basics.
They're basic.
Do the basics, do them well, and the rest comes easy.
They're the very basics of NLP. I just want to end with this. I started working with a traditional Chinese practitioner.
Yes.
He's fantastic. He's got a really heavy Chinese accent, and he checks my pulses. And he said, "Oh, no stress here. Just stress and body from chemo." And I'm like, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
And it's because of all the work that I've done, but that I continue to do.
And I'll say that is brilliant, because so many people want change and then they don't realize they have to do repetitions after the change. You got to live the change you receive. If I lose 50 pounds and then I go back to the bar and eat burgers and fries, I'm going to be overweight.
Mm-hmm.
You have to live the change.
Absolutely.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for joining us today. This will be posted on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. You can watch it later. We'll be putting shorts out from this interview with Angela. I would encourage anybody who's heard anything about cancer in their life, if you want to work with a coach who's been there, done that, again, has 2 t-shirts. You can have Angela's contact information in the interview notes. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next Wednesday.